Hello and welcome to Homeowner Talk. My name is David Stone and I'm the president of Nevada Association Services. And this is my co-host, John Leach, who's the partner in the law firm of Leach, Johnson, Song & Gruco. Each episode we'll be here to talk with you about important homeowner topics. And we, along with our guests, are here to provide you with useful information on various subjects.
We also want to encourage you to interact with us and our guests each episode. So please visit our website at homeownertalktv.com and send us your questions. We will try to answer as many of your questions as we can on the show and online.
We've invited experts in to share some resources about technology and legislation. And with us today is Joe Russo of getdocsnow.com, community manager Tom Kelly of First Columbia Management, and Donna Toussaint, HOA board member and president of the Nevada chapter of Community Associations Institute. That's a tongue.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. First, we'd like to welcome Joe Russo of getdocsnow.com. Joe, great to see you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Joe, maybe you can tell our viewers just a little bit about your company and how you got started.
We started back in about the year 2000. I was an agent. I have 26 years of experience as a broker. And we were going across town delivering a money order check to go pick up documents for someone we just sold a home for in an HOA. And me and my partner at the time felt there should have been a better way. And so we just put together what we thought we were the only ones doing it, came out with a system that was very primitive at first, and then we've built on it through the years to now. And
now, for clarification, when you buy or sell a home, you either receive or give one way or another. You're giving documents regarding the community association. And when you say documents, that's probably what you mean: CC&Rs, minutes of meetings, financial disclosures, and things of that nature. And those can be quite cumbersome at times. There's a lot of stuff.
And we as agents have a responsibility to disclose, representing the buyer and the seller, but to get those documents to the buyer so they can review them and then say they want to go and continue with that transaction or not.
So give us just a quick idea. Technically, how does it work? I'm a real estate agent. I have someone that's buying or selling a home. Where does getdocsnow.com come in?
What we do is we have a relationship with a management company, and what they do is decide to use our service. And when they decide to use our service, then they go ahead and just send any inquiry for documents to our online service, getdocsnow.com. And it's just an easy to use, register once and you have your account. If you're an agent, you're going to have, and you have many transactions, maybe with the same HOA or HOAs in a management company, you'll be using our service a lot. So you get your own account, and it's just very simple. Over the years, it's gotten simpler and simpler as we have been refining it.
And so what are some of the advantages that you see, drawing back on your experience of taking the documents and driving them across town, maybe some of the advantages you see to managing an association's documents online?
For a management company and a self-managed HOA, the advantage is time. Really, I think the thing that you can't really measure precisely is how much time a system might save you. And what we're really finding in technology, we're really reducing clicks and reducing pages that you don't need to be involved in. So we keep reducing the amount of time it takes to get on our site, use it, and time being money, we really do help you in that way as well, also being very competitive in what we charge.
Now, how do the management companies, the community managers with the association make sure that their documents are all up to date? For example, you have a meeting yesterday, you have a new set of minutes that will be approved in the next couple weeks or next month. How do you, as an agent, as a seller of a piece of property, how do I know the documents that I'm providing through your service are all update?
Well, we don't police the documents, and we don't take that position. We do help, like if we notice every odd page is missing, which we've had that happen, we'll obviously we should inform our client that they need to do a better job in getting us the documents that they want us to disperse for them. We're merely a vehicle that they use to get that efficiently and documented that we did it at a certain time. It took a certain amount of time for the client to download it. So there's an actual recording of every step of the process. So, if someone challenges you in court, you can bring that in as well as a HOA.
And it sounds like you, like us, as a lawyer, I have to rely upon my clients to give me the accurate information, so you're kind of in the same boat. Maybe you can tell our viewers again the benefits that you see, because homes are going to be sold, and every time there's a resale of a unit, there's a statute that requires the association to comply, or the owner, actually it's the seller that's supposed to comply, but seems to get passed back to the association. How do you help associations with the resale packages?
In what way do you mean?
Well, the resale package that the buyer is going to get should have, you know, the governing documents. So how are you notified that they need that, or do they just get on your website and they say, I'm buying this unit, so I need all these documents, or is there a resale package that's on there?
What we do is represent what the self-managed HOA or the management company decide to include. And if by law is they're supposed to include all the minutes and in a timely manner, and also the budgets and all the other parts of the package, that's what they should do. If we notice that CC&Rs are missing or articles are missing, I think it is incumbent on us to help them understand that they don't have a full package. And we do that, but we, once again, don't necessarily police it. It's kind of a liable situation, and all we do is really work with the client to help them pull a very expensive process out of their office if they're doing it by hand. If they're using a competitor, we can really improve their bottom line by doing it about 20% less than our competitor.
And that, I think, is the key. I don't think you can appeal more to our homeowners and or the boards who are having to make policies for associations than the savings that you pass on. And what I hear you saying is you can do that.
Yes. Well, we're not a large company. We don't have layers. It's about 5 people in the company, right. And we are really personalized with our service. So we're going to grow very systematically and really on purpose.
We don't have much time left, but perhaps you can just get into security and as it relates to submitting information online. That's always a concern.
Security in general. Let's do this. Specific to GDN, Get Docs Now, we are very up on security. We don't even get access to the information, like credit card information. It's all encrypted for us. So I don't even have access to it. And we use a payment system, a payment processing company that actually is very secure. And I went with the #1, which is AuthorizeNet. And that is just a way to ensure that everything we do is above board and very secure. I have a coding company as well, and we are really very much into that. And we talk to our clients all the time that we do development for about security.
So look, if I summarize, you save time, you save money, and you're more efficient in your business. Sounds like they help associations and management companies a lot.
Can't really go wrong. So if someone wants to engage you, a management company, community manager's not using you, they just go to getdocsnow.com.
Just go to getdocsnow.com. All the information's right there. You can go to our YouTube page and check out some of the videos. We're very transparent, and everybody can learn a lot about us.
That's great. Very simple to use.
I like that.
I know personally.
Yeah. So. It's got to be simple for me, or I can't do it.
Yeah,
so.
you and me both.
Joe, thank you so very much for joining us. When we come back, we'll talk to Tom Kelly from First Columbia Community Management and discover ways technology has helped his business. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
So what's new?
It's the flashing yellow arrow.
Tell me more.
Say you're going to make a left turn. On the green arrow, you turn left. A yellow arrow means the signal is going to change to red. A red arrow means you stop. Next, you'll see a flashing yellow arrow. The flashing yellow arrow means you must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. Any other questions?
I got what I need.
The new flashing yellow arrow signal will be installed gradually throughout the valley. For more information, visit rtcsnv.com.
Waves of foreclosures have slammed Las Vegas, the epicenter of the foreclosure crisis. The maze of paperwork and red tape can be daunting. Who do you turn to? Where do you start? StopNVForeclosures.org is a secure, city-sponsored website that will connect you to free, HUD-approved housing counseling. There's help out there, and we can help you find it. Visit StopNVForeclosures.org or call 229-HOME for more information.
And welcome back to Homeowner Talk. Please welcome Tom Kelly from First Columbia Community Management. Tom is here to talk about the many challenges facing community managers and how technology is playing a big role in solving some of the toughest issues. Tom, welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much
for joining us.
Glad to have you here, Tom. Maybe you can tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and about your company.
Well, actually, I kind of fell into this industry here. When I graduated from high school, I served 13 years in the Marine Corps. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I was looking for a job. And unfortunately, skills that you learn in the Marine Corps are not always transferable to the civilian world, right? So the first interview I went to is, I was talking to the interviewer, and I told him, hey, look, I can hang upside down blindfold field strip in M16 in less than a minute. But I guess those skills weren't valuable at that point in time. So one Sunday morning, I got up and I was looking at the newspaper, and I was looking at the classified ads, and there was accounting. And it seemed like there was like 3 pages of accounting. So I said, well, you know what, that's probably what I need to do. So I went back to school, got me a degree in accounting. So initially, when I got into this business, I was actually a bookkeeper in San Diego County for a single one association, about 400 and some units. And then one day I met a guy by the name of Bill Narang, who had a corporation out of the San Fernando Valley, which he had offices in Fresno, Reno, Las Vegas, Seal Beach, and Leisure World in Seal Beach, you know, all over the places. And he hired me as the vice president. And in my travels back and forth here, checking on the Las Vegas office, I noticed is that there was really a demand for homeowners associations and management here in the Las Vegas. So we sat back and we talked and we talked and we decided to open up an office here in Vegas. And I actually started a one-man office. Used to get up every morning at 7 o'clock, pick up the mail, post the payments, go to the board meetings, type the minutes, do the financials, and the whole 9 yards. And today is, I actually bought that company when he decided to retire in 2001. And today we have 30 plus associations, 10 employees, anywhere from 20 to 400 units from Boulder City to an aero park in Pahrump.
Wow.
And I remember when you were in that one office. That was a tiny little office, so you've come a long way since then.
What are some of the challenges that you're experiencing or you've seen recently with legislation or technology from the early days when you were community managing and posting checks yourself? And what are some of the challenges you see today, Tom?
You know, the laws are really limited in '95. And actually coming from California, they had the condominium blue book is. So a lot of the laws that they have passed here today, we actually utilized in California. And you know, one of the problems we face nowadays with all the mandates put on by the legislatures is standardization and flexibility. And of course, is like all corporations is cost. And we know right now is that all the boards, association, and management companies are going and processing the 2013 budget. And you know, what the Southern Nevada Water Authority's restructure fee and all that kind of stuff is, there's only really a couple places that associations can save money on. I mean, utilities is based on demand. So it's landscaping and management. And so if we're not creative enough is to be, you know, be able to process these payments and do all this stuff in a timely manner, it actually causes us a lot of problems. But what a lot of the laws changed and with these mandates is standardization and flexibility is. Too much now is there is no flexibility or difference in a management company or any other companies out here because everything is standardized. You know, they tell you now is how to hold a board meeting, where, you know, how to prepare your agenda is, how many minutes somebody can speak is, and it just takes away the flexibility is that sooner or later everything out here will be the same.
You know, in our previous segment, we had Joe Russo from getdocsnow.com. I was wondering how automating services and companies like that, do they help you? How does that help provide services for a community management company like yourself?
Again, though, with cost is, you know, I had a wise guy tell me one time, you know, every dollar you spend is actually $2 because that could have been $1 put back in your pocket. So listening to Joe is that, you know, the cost saving is substantial, especially to us. To process a demand statement now, you used to be able to take my staff, you know, 5 to 10 minutes. Now it can be processed in about a minute to a minute and a half. But again, you know, we were talking about standardization is, and everything has its pros and cons. One of the pros is that it does save you a considerable amount of money is. But one of the cons is it goes back to the standardization. You know, computer is the most stupidest thing in the world. It only does what you tell it to do, and it has no analytical or reasoning ability. I mean, I have my staff come to me all the time and saying, you know, hey, Tom, you know, the computer's doing this. The first question that I ask him is, well, what did you tell it to do? Because that's, you're going to come back and figure out how we fix it. You know, and technology is that you can buy any shelf program, take it off the wall, put it together and try to market it or sell it. It's the people behind it. And see, with 32 associations, I look at it this way. I have 32 different bosses, 32 CEOs who have different personalities. And so you were talking about legislature. One of the problems with legislature today is one shoe fits all. And that's the biggest problem we're having is. And it's the same thing with technology. You can't come and sell me a piece of technology that's going to work for 20 condos in North Las Vegas and turn around and expect it to work the same way with a 400 unit in Henderson or somewhere else. And that's one of the good things about Get Docs Now is they have that flexibility is to be able to program that to exactly the needs what the association have. It's not just one of these, hey, grab it off the shelf, put it inside the computer, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
Great. Well, very interesting, and I think it's important for your position with respect to the legislature and inflexibility. It needs to be communicated to board members and the membership, because they're the ones with the voice, and those are the ones that the legislature wants to hear from. So it's a very important point, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Tom, very much. We'll be right back with our community spotlight. Please stay with us.
Come on, guys. You know better than that.
Just had to check that text, didn't you? Bet you didn't even notice you were driving into a school zone where a kid could step right in front of your car at any moment.
And you, the crosswalk's only a few yards that way. You didn't even look to see if any cars were coming.
And of course, Chatty Chatterson over there was a big help, waving you out into traffic. Way to go, Mom.
And now here we are on the brink of disaster, all because nobody bothered to pay attention. Wow, that was a very close call. Too bad I'm not real.
Don't press your luck. Steer clear of floodwater.
Welcome back to Homeowner Talk. Joining us in the studio now is Donna Toussaint. Donna is an HOA board member and is also the president of Community Associations Institute Nevada chapter. Donna is our community spotlight. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for joining us. Tell our viewers a little bit about your background as a board member first.
Well, actually, it was quite interesting. In '96, my husband and I bought our dream home, our property. And one of my friends said, well, you know, that's an HOA. And I said, well, what's an HOA? So we went and we picked up the documents, and come to find out that the woman who was managing the association lived down the street from my stepfather, and my sister used to play with her and her brothers and sisters. So I asked them questions. Well, how do we get this done? How do we get that done? She said, oh, you need to run for the board. I said, oh, no, I don't think I really want to do that. So I said, well, I'll run for alternate delegate to the master. Well, she put my name in for the board member position, and within 6 months, I was vice president. The president left, and I said, oh my gosh, I have to learn something now. I figured my fellow board members would help me along, and I realized they knew as little as I did. So I knew education was really needed. And I did my service, my time for 10 years. I'm actually back on the board again, helping them because they had a few people that resigned.
That's awesome.
Donna, what is, can you explain to our viewers what is CAI Nevada and what exactly your role is?
Well, I am president this year, and this year the theme is the year of the homeowner. 47% of the people that belong to CAI out of the 1,500 members are homeowners.
47%.
And 51% of the people that live in this state are in HOAs. And one of the things that CAI does impeccably is it has an education program. Their education program is bar none. One of my favorites is we have what we call a decal program. It's dedicated leader program. And it's people who are on board of directors, people who are homeowners that want to learn more about the HOA, how they can help through legislation, how they can help make things better. It's a 30-hour class. It's the third Saturday of every month. And now we're working on an advanced decal certification. But what I'm really excited about now is 2013, which this is, we have a business partner education program, and it'll be 30 hours. So when we go to these business partners and we need a proposal for maybe redoing the pool or the tennis court, they're going to understand our needs better than they do now. So I think this is really exciting.
What interested you, or what was it that motivated you to get involved with legislature and legislative issues?
Delegates. It had to do with delegates. One of the problems that we have, and you've heard this over and over again, one size fits all. I lived in a very large community, and we had to have a certain requirement of delegates, a certain number, in order to get anything done, even to have an election. And we couldn't do it. We needed 86 delegates. We were lucky if we had 12. So I went to the legislature 3 times, and 3 different sessions, and said, can you give us some relief, because we can't even get the votes to have our documents changed. What we would like is if we can demonstrate that we can't get this certain amount that we need, that you will allow us to have our elections without using delegates. We didn't want delegates to go away for everybody, just for us.
That's awesome. And you've been involved in many sessions now.
Oh, yes, I have.
And we're grateful for that.
Because
by
I'm
the way.
really old.
No.
What do you see coming up for the 2013? I know there's a grassroots initiative, which I would also like for you to talk about for a couple minutes. What do you see? What do you see happening? Where are we going?
You know, what I see happening is something that happens in almost every session. There'll be a problem, and our legislators will try and fix that problem, but they don't realize what the unintended consequence is and how it creates problems for everybody else on the other side of it. And I think what they really need to know up in Carson City is who is really affected by this. It's the people that live in the associations. Without us, the whole industry goes away. It doesn't exist. We're the people that are most impacted. If someone's home was foreclosed on and the assessments weren't paid, everyone who lives in that association, who pays their assessments on time, all the time, have to pick up the slack. So we're the ones that are being impacted.
What are the issues? What do you think will be the hot button issues for the session?
I've heard a lot. One might be elections. In other words, you would have to have a third party go ahead and count the votes, which probably would just add an extra expense, especially to a small community that had 30 doors. It's just not practical. It really isn't. Another thing is collections. Collections is going to be a big issue this year, and how that's handled. But I do believe that if we can get these legislators to realize we're people, we're homeowners, we are people that are being impacted every single day. We're in and out of these communities, and they can look at us as human beings, not as an entity or an industry. I think that'll go a long way for them to realize that they need to give us some relief.
That's a great point. And sometimes they lose sight of the fact that an HOA, this corporation, is really only as viable as the homeowners that make up the entity. And right now, so many of those homeowners, you get 70% of the homeowners paying 100% of the obligation, and that's a method for
and the cost doesn't go down. You're still going to have to pay your management fees. Right. Water's not going down. Power's not going down. Your costs are going up. A lot of the especially the landscaping companies now, because gasoline prices are so high, we're charging a surcharge if they had to come out on the property. So they need to look at us and help us and give us some relief.
I don't know if you've had a chance to share enough about what you want to share about the grassroots initiative and how homeowners can get involved with that. Do you have to be a member of CAI to be involved in the grassroots initiative? Or is there anything on that you'd like to share with our viewers?
We're really excited about grassroots. We're just getting our feet wet. And in 2013, we are going to be good. We're going to be awesome in 2015. We really are.
Good in 13, great in 15.
Exactly.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. And what it is it's a group of people who live in HOAs, and some are board members, some are committee members, some really aren't even in an HOA right now. But they realize that legislation is going to impact them. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to come up with something that's very concise that we can go to the legislature with and say, we are homeowners. This is how it's impacting us. And if you go to the CAI Nevada website, there's a link there where you can download a form and you can join. We're having meetings, probably 4 meetings a month right now in various parts of the county to get people to know what we're doing, why we're doing it. We're going to do this to help them. And I believe that when our legislators see that the average person, and I'm not meaning that we're all average, but the people who this impact, it really does impact them. They do care.
Yeah. We're running out of time, but I thought maybe you might tell our viewers, how can they find out who their legislator is and what they can do to get involved?
You know, it's pretty easy, actually. You can go on the website to the
I think the registrar.
Registrar voters. You can go there. You can do that. You can go on the legislative website, and you'll probably have a link to that somewhere on your program.
On our website.
And you just put in your address, and it'll tell you who your But really and truly, the best thing I can tell people: find out who your legislator is. Call them up and say, "I'd like to take you to coffee and bring 12 of your neighbors, your voters. Your vote counts."
Yeah, they want to hear from the
people.
Everyday, normal people living in community
do.
associations, and the people that enjoy living in community associations. They hear a lot from the people that are unhappy, but they don't hear enough from the people that are happy, and most of the people living in associations are happy. So.
Well, I don't know if you have it in a second, but I can tell you there was an article in the paper a few weeks ago about a community in Henderson. Their walls were falling down, their common elements really needed repair. And right down the road, there was Green Valley Ranch, which is an HOA. Well, guess what? What do we have to do in HOAs? We have
Maintain
to have
and repair.
reserves.
Yeah.
We
Repair
have
and
to have
take care.
reserves. The city of Henderson didn't. So the people who were not in the HOA, their community's looking pretty shabby. The people that were in the HOA at the same age, they're both the same age, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, it says
and
a lot.
That just says a lot.
That says it all right there. Donna, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For some very important information you provided to us. I'm glad we had the chance to get your input. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
RBIs and 36 homers. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it deep back into the stands.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
And welcome back to Homeowner Talk. Now, before we leave today, it's time for our viewer question, which comes from Debbie. She asks, I purchased a condo in an age-qualified community 5 years ago, and it was stated that all residents must be 50 years or older. Now, lately, I've noticed residents with children. I'm told that since they are the legal guardians of the children, assuming they're grandparents, by law, children must be allowed to live in this complex. Is this legal? John, we throw it over to you for an exact answer to this question.
Well, there's a problem with the question. I don't know what association it is, but to be in compliance with federal law, 80% of the units must be occupied by a person 55 years of age and older. So I'm concerned about the question saying that they were told that they could be 50 and over, because unless you have 80% occupied by persons 55 years and older, you're not in compliance with federal law, and the age restriction may lose its enforceability. So the first thing is we need to check at that. Secondly, the federal law does allow you to discriminate by saying you have to have 55 and older, but it also says that you can prohibit anyone under the age of 18 from occupying. But the term occupancy is usually defined. So grandparents that might live in an age-restricted community can have visitors, including their grandchildren, who visit with them throughout the year. But most of the CCNRs will define what occupancy is. Is it 30 consecutive days? Is it 60 days in the entire year? You have to look at the document. And so you can prohibit children from occupying, but not visiting, and then the occupancy is the factor. How do you prove whether they're spending overnight, how long they're there? But yes, you can, in many instances, have prohibitions against children from residing in a community if it's in compliance with the federal law.
And I think Debbie may need to go back and find out who told her the age was 50, so
Yeah.
she may want to start there.
Yeah, I'm really concerned, Dave. My
yeah.
concern is that it should be 55 and older,
Right.
and they have to take surveys every 2 years to make sure that they meet that 80% occupancy requirement.
Fantastic. Thanks, John. We would like to thank our guests today, Joe Russo, Tom Kelly, and Donna Toussaint.
And that's all for this edition of Homeowner Talk. We'd like to thank all of our partners on the show: HOA Management, Alliance Association Financial Services, Classic Landscapes LLC, Tree Solutions, GetDocsNow.com, Western Risk Insurance, and Nevada Association Services. Remember, you can always find information about this program, and you can also drop us a line at homeownertalktv.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Homeowner Talk.